Just as you said, you've recently joined New Relic. It would be really interesting to hear what are your challenges and goals there.
One of my goals is to help, so it's a younger company in some ways than the prior two that I've been at. And so, and it's a company that it's no big secret. We are going through a little bit of change, and I can't give away a lot of, details about it, but we have a new chief product officer and, we're engaging on a new strategy a little bit. And so to that end, there are challenges when those kinds of things change. And part of my job is to make sure we flow through those and make sure that we build on the great, foundation that we built over the past, time in the company, over 10 years. So my big challenge is to make our core data platform as rock solid as we can, as performant as we can, so that we can actually build, have our other parts of the organization build great products on top of that, as well as have it itself be a great product, and continue to be a great, reliable product. So that's largely what I'm focused on. We've got a incredible growth story that we're going to be, continuing to execute on, and my job is to make sure that happens smoothly.
That is very interesting. My next question is about your big data tools. At New Relic, you collect vast amount of data. Can you share with our audience what big data tools do you use internally or plan to invest into in order to continue serving customers' growing demand?
The one thing I will say is so we actually have a great asset in New Relic. It's called New Relic DB, NRDB. If you ever get our CEO in a room, he'll probably say that's one of his proudest things about our platform is we have our own. There's technologies under the hood that we use to make all this stuff work, but you look at the amount of data that we, ingest, consume, order, set up. It is unprecedented scale. It's probably one of the biggest scale databases on the planet. It's a highly distributed database. It is to build something like this is a monumentally challenging thing. There are very few things like it, and it's kind of one of the crown jewels of the company. So I'll leave it at that. But it's at this scale, you almost, and this is probably true for anybody doing any kind of multi-petabyte, almost exabyte scale type operation. It is where you're taking in ingest measured in petabytes. This is going to be a different kind of thing than saying just buy MapReduce or buy Spark, buy some kind of technology off the shelf to try to make something like this work. And I've seen this kind of problem across the industry where a company that's a data company like us will often have to do a lot of their own stuff to make that system actually viable and performant.
That's really interesting. My next question is about COVID-19 pandemic, which actually forced all of the teams to work remotely. Being an engineering leader, how do you plan to keep your remote teams, focused, productive, and motivated?
That's always a hard question because it's going to depend on a lot of the individual teams, and so the approach will vary by team and the situation that they're in. One of the things that I fully believe we have to do, though, and even if you ask people that have been primarily remote companies before the pandemic, like if you ask companies like Basecamp or others like that, there is still an in-person element. You still have to have some level of let's get together as a team and let's have offsites. We're not going to do them until it's safe, but the minute I can say, so we have an office in Barcelona. We have a lot of engineers in Barcelona. I love Barcelona, so it's not hard to get me to want to go. And the minute that we have vaccines, we've kind of gotten to where it's safe, I'm going to be on a plane going to Barcelona to do in-person meetings, right? And to kind of have that getting to know each other, as colleagues and friends and trusted peers. I'm not going to lie about it. My position on this is I think remote's great. I think the flexibility is great. And as a stated position, you can be remote at New Relic. That's part of, it's something that we've moved to. But at the same time, you still have to have that periodic, I don't know what cadence we can do it, but get together time where you build those bonds of trust. And so you do that. In the interim, there's things that we can do. There's lots of, Zoom meetings, Zoom happy hours, activities, Airbnb experiences. There's all sorts of creative things I feel like people are doing And I'm learning from a lot of people. Frankly, I'm learning from my team a lot of things that they were doing already that were like that. And I think they've done with some level of success. But I'm not going to lie. It is a challenge. It is not the same as being in person and getting on a whiteboard and being able to have that hallway conversation. I miss that. And it's not just because I'm not an extrovert, but I like to talk with other technologists and have those kind of informal conversations. But I'm looking forward to getting back to having those, at least at some level.